The screen didn't go black when I pulled the plug. It stayed lit just long enough for me to see my own reflection in the monitor, and for a split second, my character's head turned to look back at me. It was exactly 3:14 a.m. I remember, because I had just looked at the bottom right of my taskbar, thinking I should probably head to bed. My eyes were burning from the blue light, that dull, heavy ache you get after hours of mindless scrolling. The house was dead quiet. My parents were asleep at the other end of the hallway, and the only sound in my room was the low, consistent hum of my PC's cooling fans and the faint, rhythmic ticking of a clock I keep on my dresser. I don't know why I opened Roblox. It was a habit, I guess. I went to the search bar and typed in a string of random numbers. I found a game with no title. It was just a period. The thumbnail was a standard gray base plate under a dark skybox. It said 0 players. The creator's name was a long string of hex code. Normally, I'd skip it, but the last updated date bothered me. It said, today. I clicked play. I should have clicked away then. But as the loading bar stuck at 50%, my hard drive started making a high-pitched metallic whine, a sound it only makes when it's being forced to process something it wasn't built to handle. The first thing I noticed wasn't the visuals, it was the sound. There was a low-frequency throb coming through my headphones. It was so deep I could feel it in my jaw. It sounded like a heavy machine running in a room 3 floors below me. My character spawned in the center of a very small room. It was a replica of a small apartment. The lighting was set to a dim yellowish hue. I moved my mouse. There was a slight delay. Not frame rate lag, the game was running at a solid 60 frames per second, it was input delay. My character would turn a fraction of a second after I moved my hand. It made me feel disconnected. I walked toward a window. Clack, clack, clack. I stopped walking. The footstep sounds continued for 2 more beats. Clack, clack. I frowned and adjusted my headset. I tried it again. 3 steps forward. I stopped. Again, 2 extra footsteps played after I let go of the key. I told myself it was just server-side lag, but then I noticed the shadows. My character's shadow didn't move with me. It stayed anchored to the spot where I had spawned, stretching toward me like a piece of elastic being pulled too thin. I went to the desk in the game. On it was an old, bulky CRT monitor. I clicked it. A command prompt window popped up. White text began to scroll across the black box. I caught glimpses of words. C. Users. My name. App data. Local. Roblox. Logs. I felt a cold prickle at the back of my neck. My name isn't in my Roblox profile. I don't link my socials. I typed in the chat. Is anyone scripting this? The chat stayed empty. Then a new message appeared. It wasn't from a player. System. The fan in your room is getting loud. I froze. I stopped breathing for a second, listening. My PC fan was screaming at max speed. I tried to tell myself it was just a clever script detecting my hardware temperature, until the next message appeared, 3:19 a.m. You should have been asleep 34 minutes ago. I tried to hit ESC to leave the game. The menu didn't open. I tried to Alt-Tab. My screen stayed locked. My character began to move on its own. The camera angle changed. It detached from the standard third-person follow and fixed itself in the corner of the ceiling, like a security camera. I watched my avatar stand in front of the door. The audio throb grew louder. It started to pulse. Thump, thump, thump. It was the rhythm of a heartbeat. 120 beats per minute. Then, my keyboard began to type. I watched the letters appear, one by one, as if someone was sitting right there with me, pressing the keys. I can see the light from your monitor through the crack under the door. The door in the game creaked open. Beyond the door wasn't a hallway, it was just a black void. But as the door opened wider, a light appeared in that void. It was a rectangle of blue light. It was a render of a room. My room. The level of detail was impossible. I could see the messy pile of clothes on my bed. I could see the half-empty water bottle on my nightstand. And I could see the back of a chair. A person was sitting in that chair, wearing headphones. The system chat sent one final message. Don't turn around. You'll ruin the render. At that exact moment, the ticking clock on my dresser stopped. The silence that followed was so heavy it felt like water pressing against my ears. And then, I heard it. The sound of a single, mechanical keyboard click. It didn't come from my headphones. It came from behind me, near the bed. Click. I reached down and ripped the power cable out of the back of the PC. The PC died instantly. The fans whirred down to a stop. The room went pitch black. I sat there for a long time, my hand still gripping the power cable. My breathing was shallow and fast. I waited for a sound, a movement, a hand on my shoulder. Nothing happened. Eventually, I worked up the courage to turn on my desk lamp. The room was empty. Everything was exactly where it was supposed to be. The next morning, I plugged the PC back in. I went to my Roblox logs folder. I opened it. There was a text file from last night. It was empty except for one line at the very bottom. Local, user, observation. Subject remained in chair for 4 hours and 12 minutes after disconnection. Heart rate has stabilized. Proceed to phase 2. I haven't played Roblox since, but sometimes, when the room is quiet, I swear I can hear the sound of a mechanical keyboard clicking from the corner of the room. Just once. Click. And then, nothing.